All right, we're joined this afternoon by Cal Poly head volleyball coach Jon Stevenson. Coach, 5 stars returning from last year's team, wealth of letter winners who got a lot of good collegiate experience last year. For a team that was very competitive, what's it going to take for Cal Poly to get back toward the top of the Big West standings?
I think it's about taking the talent that we have and finding not only the right combinations of people who can work together on the floor, but also the positions that they play. They're such a talented group that they can play multiple positions, and it's all about that. We have 18 days and 23 training sessions to try to figure that out.
Let's revisit last season quickly. Young team, you were in a lot of close matches, very competitive. What are some positives that you can take from last year going forward?
Well, I think any team that goes through 6 consecutive 5-set matches is either going to implode, which they didn't, or they're going to learn a valuable lesson about the need to be diligent and stick with it and fight through those uncomfortable, tough moments on the volleyball floor. And it just seems obvious in their walk, in their talk, in their demeanor that I've seen throughout the camp that we just did and leading into practice, that they seem to have really grown up through the year. And so they learned at first, I think it was in 3 stages, they learned what intercollegiate volleyball was all about at the highest level at first. In the middle part of the year, they learned what it would take to be truly competitive. And they started to put that together. And then they learned to not get out of their way and let it happen and just play 1 point at a time. And that's cliche, but essentially that's what they were doing at the end of the season, and they were an excellent team by the tail end. The last 4 matches were 3 of 4 and had some nice victories there at the end.
Dominique Olawalafe probably go down as one of the top hitters in Cal Poly history, percentage-wise. What kind of senior season do you see for her coming up?
I see greatness. She's always been a tremendous leaper, and I'll never forget the week before she came to Cal Poly, and it's gone by so quickly. It's scary in a way. She was worried that she couldn't spike the ball, and here we are going into our 4th preseason with Dee, and she is much improved in every aspect of the game. She has international aspirations, so she wants to be a professional volleyball athlete beyond Cal Poly, and she knows that in large part she's going to need to take a big step this year, that being she needs to be a leader of this group. She needs to lead in her way, is essentially, she has, by example, yes, also, she's a very intelligent young lady. So it's about keeping these girls together, a young team, and letting things unfold in the natural course of events. I think she will have a very large role in that. And then she also needs to be able to play as a selfless volleyball athlete. So it would be easy, sort of the irony is that for her to be truly great, she needs to not worry about how good her numbers are and how many balls she blocks, how many balls she kills, or what her hitting efficiency is. For Dee, the numbers will come. It'll be about how well she is able to elevate and then implement her volleyball IQ, and that's what is really grown. Her jump is still at an incredible 10'9.5", measured this past spring, certified by the coaching staff. We were there, and she touched it 3 times in a row. So she's every bit as high as Megan Hodge, our national team player from Penn State, and those are international metrics for playing at the highest level. Dee is going to be a key, and she's got to have a great year for us to be great.
We can talk about the incoming players now. Can you give us a rundown of the freshmen you recruited and the strengths of each one?
Absolutely. We're so happy about this group, both from a technical standpoint, what they bring from their respective skill sets, but also they're a group of intelligent, team-related, team-driven, and team-oriented kids. I would need to start with Christina Graven, who may be the highest rated player to ever have been recruited to Cal Poly. 10 years ago, and it's the age-old problem. 20 years ago, things were so different, but now we have these scouting services and trade publications that will rate incoming recruiting classes and then individuals. And Christina Graven is viewed as one of the top 25 players in the entire nation, independent of position, and she is certainly one of the top 10 outside hitters in the entire nation. So Christina Graven is going to be, we're going to try to steer clear of putting everything on her shoulders, and that's really the key for her. She's excellent at every aspect of the game. She needs to just learn our systems. And so Graven really leads the charge there with the incoming kids. But then Marianne Guerra is a middle blocker, and that's a position that will allow us, if Marianne develops the way I believe she can, we'll be able to potentially move Jennifer Ketty to the outside hitter position, where she's shown the ability to receive the first ball with enough accuracy to be able to play that position. And Jennifer Ketty, a 6'5" outside hitter, is going to, with Graven and with the experience that we have, Megan McConnell coming back, Molly Pond, we're just really deep. So Guerra in the middle was very impressive in terms of what I saw from her in the club season and camp. She was excellent. Kate Walters, the younger sister of our assistant coach Caroline Walters, who was a great libero in her own right when she played a few years back. Kate turns out to be quite a skilled setter, and that's given the fact that we lost our setter, actually our starting setter, if you will, and graduated another setter last year. That's the position that you're going to be looking at to see, does Cal Poly have a solid base of setting at the setting position? So we have Kate was just a wonderful surprise for me, because I believe she would be, I saw Caroline, and the skills that Caroline brought to the court were tenacity and first ball contact. Well, it turns out Kate is a really nice setter, and so she'll be in the hunt to be on the court as a setter. And she also had an excellent camp. And then in addition, I would say Rachel Nelson is out as a DS. She got some training issues. She's coming off some potential roadblocks where we'll just see how that develops. But I think that core group is really strong, just an excellent group, and we're really excited about having them join our young team.
Another tough non-conference schedule, the likes of Nebraska and a couple other NCAA tournament qualifiers from a year ago. You guys will be on the road a lot, too, leading up to Big West Conference play. How do you expect this non-conference schedule to prepare you for the Big West?
The idea in putting together that schedule was to schedule enough very difficult matches, just enough so that we'd have an opportunity to win some big matches, to basically post some major upsets. the likes of Nebraska would probably jump out at you as the top one of those. But in addition, we'll play Arizona to start the season. We'll play the Big East champion from last year, Notre Dame. And then we'll play in addition to Arizona, 2 other Pac-10 members, Washington State and Oregon State. And so anytime you have a chance to play against a Pac-10 member, you're always going to be tested, and those will always be great wins for this team. Additionally, we have a nice mix of out-of-region, middle to upper level competition. So the likes of Idaho is going to be interesting. We play Marshall this year. We don't really know too much about them. We'll play Brigham Young again. And the schedule was essentially put together to test us every night. There are no gimmies, again. I just don't believe in that. I think schedule as tough as you can. And you need to beat the best. To be the best, that's the oldest cliche in sport. We want to, our eyes are set for the top 25. Our goal is clearly to get back into that top 25. And we're going to need to pull off some big wins, and then we're going to need to take care of business and then be prepared for what I believe is going to be a much improved Big West. Across the board, the Big West, with the addition of the new coaches that came in last year, the improvement of Davis, it makes Riverside has an ex-Olympic coach, a gold medal Olympic coach. Paula Weishoff, an ex-Olympian, is at Irvine, and the rest of the Big West has been in an incredibly competitive conference for years and years and years, and it fell off a little bit. We came in and won 2 championships, and then now we're really ready to win another one in the upcoming years. So I think that you'll find that the Big West is going to be heard from loud and clear across the country because it is much deeper than in prior years, and it's just going to get more and more difficult as we go.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you.